Ever wonder what it feels like to champion the underdog or to be one who rises above doubts? In my recent podcast, I had a heart to heart with my friend Kendell Lenice, the remix coach. She's been motivating spirits since childhood, and her life coaching has sparked incredible transformations. She's coined the phrase, "It's never too late to remix your life." Our conversation dived into how life's remix can be transformative, even life saving. It's not just about change, it's a rebirth of dreams, goals, and one spiritual path. Ask yourself this: have you ever considered what aspects of your life could use a new beat?
If you've been doing something for so long and it's still not working, then it's time to remix it. And remixing started with my own life. I have remixed my life 1,000 times over. And
Yeah.
sometimes remixing your life is a matter of life and death.
This is Sheila's Take, a podcast where you can hear my take on everything: love, hate, relationships, family, and today's issues with a godly perspective. I'm your host, Sheila Dunbar. Thank you for joining me. Today on my podcast, I have a truly inspiring guest joining me, Miss Kendell Lenice, affectionately known as the Remix Coach. Kendell's journey as a transformation speaker and certified life coach spans over 2 decades, empowering individuals to embrace self-awareness, self-acceptance, and authenticity in pursuit of their best lives. Many coaching and speaking engagements and thought-provoking books, Kendell embodies the message that it's never too late to remix your life. With a background in radio broadcasting and a dedication to helping others heal and grow, Kendell's uplifting presence will surely resonate with listeners. Join us as we dive into insightful conversations about transformation, self discovery, and celebrating personal growth.
Hmm.
Please prepare to be inspired and motivated by Kendell's wisdom and genuine passion for empowering others. Welcome, Kendell. How are you, love?
Let me tell you something. I'm sitting over here like squirming in my chair. That was an amazing. Thank you. You got to send me that.
Oh,
I
listen,
love it.
listen.
Thank
I gotta do you justice, girl. I gotta make sure, I gotta make sure I do you right. But
That was amazing. I appreciate that. And I'm so happy to finally be on
I
Sheila
know, I know, I know. I mean, we've been talking about it. We've been talking about it. Just to give everyone a little history, Kendall and I met on an online Bible study we both did, right? And we just connected, and we never really met until January of this year at a
That's
function that we
crazy.
went to. And it's been amazing, and I appreciate Kendall. I look at her as a mentor for me because there's so many things that she's done that I'm looking to do. She inspired me to get off my butt and get this particular podcast up and running. So I really love her, and she's such a good sister. So I'm so honored to finally have you on Sheila's Take.
Yay! I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, I know can you share a little bit about your journey towards how you became a life coach and how you discovered your passion for motivating and empowering others?
It's so interesting that you asked that question because I've been asked that before,
Hmm.
and it's really the same answer. And I never thought about it before because truly, it has always been me. Like I have been motivating people since I was a little girl, whether it was little kid, like the kids that were smaller than me, they
Hmm.
would knock on my door and ask if I can come out. Like I'm in junior high, they're in elementary school. And I would
Really?
always mentor in motivate. And then I go throughout my life, and then I'm in, high school, and I go back and look at my yearbook. Thank you for helping me through this moment. I couldn't have got through this difficult time without you. Thank you for your words of wisdom.
Yeah.
And then I start just thinking back over my life. This is who I have always been. And then I started hearing life coach. Oh, you're a life coach. People were speaking that into me before I even was speaking it unto myself. And that's just something that I've always been, and something that I've always liked to do, is to motivate and to help people. And I used to always, and still to this day, cheer for the underdog. I don't want to see anybody excluded. I'm about exclusivity. Like when I was little, I would see a girl over there by herself. Everybody's over here. I would walk over to her and say, "You can come over with us. You don't have to be by yourself."
You one of those. You're one of those.
I have always been that way. So when I think about it, God has prepared me for everything. He's already put it in me. Everything that I have been doing it since I was a child. It really is. And it sounds so cliche. It's always a part of me, but it really is who I am. And then when I started doing it professionally, I think one of my first solid clients was this attorney that hired me as a life coach. And I started, because I was already doing it for free many, 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 many years.
Okay.
Just a part of, what I was doing. And then when I turned it into a profession, I was like, this is what I have been doing. And someone was like, you need to get paid for this. And I went and got certified, and the rest is history. So the long answer to your question is, or short of it, it's always been who I've been.
It's amazing that you say that. When you were even like a young person, people would come up to you, other children would come up to you to inspire them, and that just to hang out, I mean, that you had that calling from being young.
Yeah.
That's a blessing. You were walking into it, you didn't even know it.
I didn't even know it. People will still say to me, "Remember this situation?" Like, because on Facebook you can see all the people you went to school with, all the people you know, and they would be like, "Remember you helped me?" And I'm like, and I don't remember. Like, it's nothing that I checked off. Okay, help this one, ding, help this. Like, it's just been a part of who I am. I always, like I said, cheered for the underdog. I always wanted to see people win. I always wanted to inspire and encourage, like, you can do that. What you mean? Like, all you got to do is do this. You definitely have it in you. Well, I'm not good enough. Well, I'm like a child, like, who told you that? I'm like, yes, you are. So I've been like that as a teenager, well into college, into young adulthood, and now in my 50s, I'm still that way. Like, I truly have a passion for people, and I want to see people win, especially the people who are counted out or who are doubted, or because of their circumstance or their experiences or what they've overcome. Some people kind of count those people out. And I love especially cheering them on and inspiring them, and love to see the finished product where, like, look at you now. They said that you couldn't do it. Like, it's something about that really inspires me. And then when I'm coaching someone and seeing somebody that was here, or their self-esteem, I have a client that I coached for about 4.5 years, maybe even more. And when I finished working with her, I was like, there's no need. Like, I'm not going to sit here and waste your time or your money. You're done. Because the evolution that she had, like, when I first started working with her, she was very timid. She didn't know how to say no. She didn't know how to handle certain things in a certain way. She didn't speak up for herself. There were a lot of challenges. And as I started working with her, and towards the end, I was like, you're a different person, right? I told her, I said, you're a different person. And she could see it, the evolution. That made me so proud, like, just giving her the tools and really allowing her to believe that she was everything that she thought she could be, and what she ended up being, because I didn't make her. She was already who she was. And for me to pull out certain things in a certain way and hold her accountable and give her homework and really speak life into her, it was just to see her and how she was after she was a woman in her 50s.
Really? A
And to be,
transformation?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And to be able to see her, coming out of whatever she was coming out of, whether this relationship didn't work or
Mhm.
she was procrastinating or she needed a lot of things were showing up emotionally when you're dealing with things. A lot of things will show up. For instance, like you can't keep your house clean, right? Or you
Yeah.
can't think clearly about something or there. So I go through and be like, well, what is it? Because this is not something that, and I don't like using the word normal because there's no such thing as normal, but this is not because you're messy or this is not because you're a procrastinator. There's something else there. So just fine tuning and pulling out the different
Mhm.
things and seeing what was the cause was why you're afraid of love or you keep seeking love in all the wrong places or
Yeah.
you're procrastinating or you can't seem to keep your house or your car clean. That's not just because somebody is messy, somebody just wants to be in love, there are reasons for that. So to be able to comb through everything and really get to the nitty gritty and the nuts and bolts of it, and then for somebody to get that aha moment and they blossom like that, man, it
Yeah.
gets no better. It gets no better just to watch people, whether they're fulfilling a dream that I help them with. I have a doctor that I just helped write her, well, not write her book, but organize her book and help her publish the book
Mhm.
and to coach her through writing the book and just doing all of these things to help her. And she sent me a copy of her book and was like, thank you for helping me make my dream come true. She's a published author now.
Wow.
So just different
Yeah.
things like that. I mean, it gets no better than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my happy place when I see people win. Somebody that this has been wanting to write a book for 10 years and then they meet me and I'm like, no, we're going to do it like this. Let's do it like,
Mhm.
and well, what do you think about this? No, let's change this. Let's strategize. Let's put this here. Let's bring this down here. No, this is not the type of cover. This is the cover you need. Let me get you a publisher. Let me make sure I edit this, turn this, just to do that. And then to see the finished product and you send me a book in the
Yeah.
mail, like, thank you for
Yeah.
helping me make my dream come true. Come
Yeah.
on now.
Yeah. That has to feel really, really good. It has to make you feel good. Um, Even the fact with you helping the person, how that person is feeling, accomplishing something that they probably felt they couldn't do. And like you said, you're bringing it out of them. Let me
Yeah.
ask you this question. I know that a lot of times we are good, because sometimes I'm like that too. I can encourage people or whatever.
Yeah.
What about encouraging yourself?
Love it. Love it. It's so I talk to myself like I'm coaching myself. And then I'm talking to God. I
Hmm.
remember one time one daughter, I can hear them talking to each other. They're like, who's mom talking to? They like herself. I'm like, I'm talking to God. That's who I'm talking to. It's so funny. So I'll coach me like I would coach somebody else.
Okay. Wow.
Girl. Yeah, I literally will tell myself, girl, we're going to change the way we're thinking here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's speak life into it.
Hmm.
Even something as simple as yesterday, I'm driving and I'm trying to cross the street. So, you know how cars are coming this way,
Yeah.
cars are coming that way. And it doesn't seem like you'll ever get a break to take the car over one lane and then another lane
Hmm.
to make your turn. And I said, I'm never going to get across the street. Instantly, I said, girl, you're speaking against what you're trying to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Say the net in 2 seconds, I'm gonna get across that street. And that's how I'm talking to myself. And I said, I'm across that street. Don't you know the cars stop and I cross the street?
Wow.
It just happened yesterday.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
that's that's something.
These
Yeah.
are the conversations I have with myself.
Who's Kendell in there oh, she's in there. She just have another conversation
I'm
with
talking,
don't worry about
you
it.
know. Sometimes sometimes it's inside, sometimes it's verbal, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
still having that conversation. Because why am I telling myself, and that's what we have to really watch what we say, even to ourselves, because people are so conscious on watching what they say to others, not to hurt others' feelings, not to damage or diminish somebody else, or
yeah,
not speak against whatever they're saying, you know. But with ourselves, we have to do the same thing. I'm literally not even thinking like, "Ooh, this traffic, I'm never going to get across the
yeah,
street."
yeah, yeah.
Think about that. So
Mhm.
you're speaking against what you're actually trying to do.
Yeah,
So I said, I'm sorry, God, I'm gonna get across this street. And I'm telling you, as soon as I said that, wherever those cars were on that side, wherever those cars were, it's like they disappeared. And I went right across the street and made my left.
look at that. Look at that. So you are the remix coach. What inspired you to coin the term remixing your life? And where did you come? How did you do that? How did you come up with that? And then we're gonna. I have on your shirt because I'm remixing my life. This is my motto now. You know that, right? It's never too late. It's never too late to remix your life. So how did
Yes.
you coin that term?
It's so funny. So for years, for many, many years, I was known as Lady Motivator. And if you look at this shirt, one of them, it says Lady Motivator,
Ah, yes, yes,
right?
yes.
So and a lot of people, I can tell how long somebody has been following me, and
Hmm.
because Lady Motivator. If you've known me for years, the last 20 years, you know Lady Motivator. And about 6, 7 years ago, maybe, I'm losing track, it became the remix coach, because it's never too late to remix your life. I've been saying that for decades.
Yeah.
And then it was like the remix coach. I'm teaching people how to remix their lives. It's never too late to remix your life at any stage, age, or phase. So I'm showing people how to remix their life in life, love, business,
Hmm.
career, dreams, goals, spirituality, and so on and so on and so on, in different stages of life. Whether
Hmm.
you're 20 something, 30 something, 40 something, 50 something, whether you want to remix your life and totally change up whatever you're doing, whether it's the wardrobe, whether it's how you get to work, whether it's you're sick of procrastinating, you're sick
Yeah.
of do whatever it is, you can remix it. It's revamping and changing it. So it's the remix coach. And it started saying, okay, the remix coach, okay, that's the remix coach. She's telling us to remix their life. And one day God was just like, it's the remix coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I totally shifted it from Lady Motivator, because I'm still doing that. But when it comes to whether I'm speaking at an event, whether I am on a podcast like this, like
Hmm.
your wonderful podcast, whether I am doing my own podcast or speaking to someone, just encouraging them, whatever it was, they came to me or they needed to hear, something wasn't working.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
something has to be remixed, it has to be revamped. Because if you've been doing something for so long and it's still not working, then it's time to remix it. And remixing started with my own life.
Mm.
I have remixed my life 1,000 times over. And
Yeah.
sometimes remixing your life is a matter of life and death. Like once you get stagnant, or once you feel like you've reached this ceiling, or once you felt like this is not working, then that's what it is. You have to do something different.
Different.
So,
Yeah.
honey, I've
Yeah.
remixed my life. I've gone back to college in my 40s, got 2 degrees. I think
Mhm.
about all the different ways that I have remixed my life. So it's not only a saying or a phrase that I have coined, it is a way of life. And remixing my life has often saved my life.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I like I said, I that is now my motto because we've talked a lot, and
Mhm.
you know my journey with my health and my weight and um it is, yeah, even starting this podcast,
Yeah.
it's uh things had to change in my life and I had to do something new, something I wanted to do, but I was afraid to
Yeah.
do. And
Yeah.
now, it's
Yeah.
remixing and I'm living my, what is that term? I'm living my best life.
Yes, you are.
You know,
Look at my phone
look at that,
case.
living my best life. And that's what it is, and it's a great feeling. And you're right, you're never too old. I look at, I think I don't know what it was. It was something I was reading, and they were talking about how, I don't know what, one of those reality stars started her business. Her Chris Jenner, she became uh started her management business at 50 something.
Remixed her life.
She remixed her life, so it's never too late to start at any, like you said, any time in your life to start something new,
Yeah.
if
Because
especially if
think
it ain't
about health.
working.
Yeah, and even health. Like if you're going to the doctor and you're getting the reports that you may not want to get,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like you got to remix your life. You can't eat the same way you've been eating. You can't keep sitting on the couch. You
Yep.
can't keep, drinking whatever you're drinking or doing whatever you're doing. You're going
Hmm.
to have to remix that.
Exactly.
Or somebody that's overweight. You keep talking about that you want to lose weight, that you don't like your body, that you hate this, you hate
Hmm.
that, but what are you doing to remix your life? So you
Exactly.
can't, it has to come to a point where you get tired of hearing yourself complain, right? You hear people complaining all the time. And the question I ask, so what you gonna do
What
about
you
it?
gonna do about it?
What you gonna
You
do?
know?
Because you can complain until the cows come home, or you can do something
Hmm.
different, remix it.
Yeah.
And every now and then you have to do that. You have to shake it up.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's change is good sometimes.
Hmm.
I was one that never really liked a lot of change, but change is good.
Yeah,
I'm living proof of that. And
yeah, you are.
in your experience, what are some common obstacles that prevent people from moving forward in life?
Not wanting to change.
Not one.
A lot of people do not like change. So when I'm coaching somebody, I don't even bring up the word change.
Mm,
I'm like, we're going to transform. We're going to transform some things because sometimes when people say change and they're afraid of certain words, because you've heard it a million times. I don't like change. Change makes me uncomfortable.
yeah.
People say it all the time. But when you transform, you're transforming your mind. You're
Mm-hmm.
transforming the way that you view things, your perspective. So once you start transforming, it becomes who you are. So
Right.
you're not changing anymore. You're transforming into really what you want to become or how you want to see yourself. So that's one of the things. And then also, of course, procrastination. That stops a lot of people from really
Yeah.
being who they want to be or doing the things that they want. And procrastination oftentimes is just that fear because they don't want to tackle it and this is
Mm-hmm.
something that's
Yeah.
holding them back. So it's really not that they're just procrastinating for no reason. It's usually an underlining fear. So I get right to it. So what are you fearful of?
Mm-hmm.
And because I want to validate that and I want to honor that. Not just saying you don't need to be procrastinating. No, like what's stopping you? What do you think? Like when's the first time that you wanted to accomplish something? Let's go back a little bit. Let's draw it back. When was that? Well, maybe writing a term paper in college, somebody might say, or the procrastination of doing my homework, or the
Mm-hmm.
meaning
Yeah.
because I really didn't like math, so I procrastinated because I really wasn't good at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
know where it stems from. Somebody could procrastinate and they're sitting there they're not doing their homework as a child because they just can't comprehend it. They don't
Right.
understand it
Right. Right.
or they learn differently. So where a parent might say, "Why do you always procrastinate?" We have to dig deeper, right? So that's one of the things like procrastination or just being fearful. It stops folks from changing because if you have been living your life 20 something years, 30 something years, 40 something years, 50 something years, although the things that you're doing might possibly not be working, people are fearful to walk into a new chapter because some folks are held to a different standard
Mm-hmm.
if they are going forward, and they're not ready for that because most people don't like to be uncomfortable. And if you've been doing what you've been
Yeah.
doing, you're very familiar with it.
Yeah.
When you're walking into unfamiliar territory, that's fearful for some people. So those are the three of the things. And I'll say a fourth, they don't think that they could do it
Yeah.
because they've heard you can't teach an
Wow.
old dog new tricks,
Yeah.
or they're feeling unworthy or not good enough. They don't feel smart enough, talented enough, beautiful enough, handsome enough. I have the money enough, whatever it is. It's they're afraid to be different or walk into a different door. So that those are the four things, truthfully, that I see often.
And
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 then of course getting stuck. But I'm like, if
yeah.
your feet aren't glued to the floor, then you're never stuck.
Yeah. And you hit it
It's a
on some
mindset.
you hit on some really good valid points because a lot of the things that you just said,
Yeah,
I'm thinking that was me.
a lot of people.
And then I procrastinate. I'm like, oh my goodness, especially if it was something I really did not feel like doing. I'm like, okay, my motto was, why do today when I could put it off and do it tomorrow? And then I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll wait till tomorrow and do it. Then I'll wait till tomorrow and do it. Then by the time I'm under the wire, I'm like, oh, I got to get this done now,
But
But
what if tomorrow never comes?
yeah, I never thought that way. I
Yeah.
never thought
And
that way.
most people don't, because most people take life for granted
Yeah.
that tomorrow will always come.
Mm-hmm.
But the joy is in the present. The joy is in today.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? Every
That's right.
day before to go to bed, you would want to experience the joy, right? Because what happens is when you keep putting things off until tomorrow, that's where anxiety
Eh,
lives.
and that's
And
exactly.
now, like, you haven't even done it, and now you anxious because you got to do it tomorrow.
I'm
So
laying
that
in bed.
anxiety
Yeah,
is
I
going to get
know it.
so the anxiety is going to get the best of you. So now
Yes.
tomorrow ends up being 2 days from now, which ends up being 2 weeks from now, which ends
Mm-hmm.
up being a month and 6 months. And then we're in the same place this year than we were last
That's right. I know it. That was me. That was my cycle. And then
year.
like you said, and I never even really put it together because
Yeah.
then you had, like you said, you had the anxiety. I'm
Yeah.
laying in bed. I'm thinking, okay, well, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to make sure this is and then I'm like, geez,
Yeah.
but it's so, you're so right with that. Now
Yeah.
you are also an author. So let's talk about your books. You have one that I read. Do you have it with you? Oh,
Which one did you read? Because
the the healing.
oh, yes, I have that because I have a couple. So excuse me,
Yes.
your unhealed
Your
is
unhealed
showing.
is showing. And I actually
Yes.
bought a couple and sent to a couple of my friends.
Oh,
Yeah, I did. That's the one thing
thank
I love to
you.
do that because, I love to share with people and actually I gave to one of the ladies, one of my good friends that I know, and I sent it to her. She's like, "Oh, I love this book." And I sent to quite a few people. So,
I appreciate that. Means a lot to me, Sheila. That means a lot.
yeah. So let what made you write that book? Because it's really good. I wanted to,
Thank
yeah,
you. I appreciate it because I know how to recognize it because I have been living in spaces where my unhealed was showing.
yeah.
And my discernment in my professional space and talking to people and been coaching for so long,
Mhm.
I see it right off the top,
Yeah, yeah,
right off the rip. I don't care what you're saying. I don't care what you have on. I don't care how shined up and how uh, designer you are from head to toe. Honey, I can see the unhealed showing a mile away.
yeah.
Even when people think they're covering it up, I see it. I
See
mean,
it.
I could be watching TV. And I talk about this in my book. One time, I think I was watching a reality show or something, and everybody is on her. I was like, that girl was hurting, that blah, blah, blah. And I've ran it down. I was running it down to my daughter. Then, like 2 or 3 episodes later, she said the same thing that I said. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can see it. I'm like, that's not even who she is. I
Yeah.
can see it, and I can give grace in that way. I remember years ago, I worked for a company, and I befriended, this is when I first moved to Maryland, and I befriended a woman, and they're like, Kendell, you so bubbly and nice and positive. Why are you her friend? Because she's mean, she's nasty,
Yeah.
she's rude. And I'm saying, no, she's not. She had never shown me that. I said, no, she's not. I said, you would have to get to know her and understand. And they were not fooling with her. Later on, she had confided in me that all of this stuff was happening. And
Hmm.
it was the unhealed showing. But I saw through that.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
people don't get a chance because the unhealed sometimes comes off as someone's personality. When in fact, it's really not their personality, it's the unhealed that's showing. I mean, I know how I've responded with unhealed, like being defensive or my feelings are hurt, and I respond, in a way where I'm defensive, let's just say. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not because of the situation. There was healing that needed to happen. So why was I defensive? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had to see, okay, I'm defensive here because rejection is difficult, and the rejection is difficult because this happened then, and I peel back the layers. And oftentimes I don't know anybody out there that doesn't display their unhealed showing. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know anybody.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
certain little things that happen, and they don't have to be big catastrophes or major things, but are a lot of things. The way that somebody dresses, the way that somebody walks, the way that
Mm-hmm.
somebody pops off on somebody and curses somebody out, the
Yeah.
way that somebody is defensive, the way that somebody might respond to something and it looks like abandonment, and the person just went to the store. And you're
Yeah.
like, where
Yeah.
you been? You just left me in this house by myself. And it's like, yo, I just went to the store.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because they're afraid, because of the attachment styles and issues, it might feel like abandonment if they didn't say, hey, I'm going to the store. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And
Yeah.
then maybe the woman or the man, whoever it was, is like, what's wrong? He's crazy. Is she crazy? I just went to the store. It's not that. It's that child or that young adult or something happened in that past where that unhealed is showing.
Yeah.
And that emotional healing is not, because most people walk around wounded and emotionally wounded, and they don't even know it. It
Wow.
becomes a part of who they are, and it becomes their personality. And until you start to heal, you see a different light that shines from that person.
I
Yeah.
never thought of that.
Yeah.
But because you do, I've known a lot of people who, I'll say this. I worked with a woman who, oh my goodness, she was one of the people that, yeah, I mean, just no, I don't care what she never had anything positive to say. She never had a good word to say about anybody. I mean, you see her coming and she was just the voice of just doom
Mm-hmm.
and now I think back on it,
Mm-hmm.
and that could have been, I mean, even with her own family, she never even
Mm-hmm.
got along with her family members. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I've never seen anybody like this in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, she needed her unhealed was definitely showing, you know,
Yeah.
and
Like who paid in your Cheerios? It's almost like that. Like you say
yeah,
good morning to somebody, they be like, what's good about the morning? It's
exactly.
like,
Exactly.
you
Yes.
know, and
Yes.
that's somebody that's hurt and wounded,
Yeah.
because people just don't respond like that. People just don't act like that for no reason. So that's why it's so
Yeah.
important. It's not to make excuses for them and not to honor bad behavior, but I believe that we should show grace. Now, if somebody shows certain things certain
Hmm.
ways, you can show grace and still set boundaries and maybe not participate in that parade that they're marching
Right,
through,
right, right,
right?
right.
So it doesn't mean that you have to cuss them back out or yell at them or roll your eyes or whatever your immediate response is give grace, but also protect your mental space and your emotions and set a boundary,
Yeah.
but still give grace. Not like, what's wrong with them? Because I think that's where the issues lie.
Hmm.
When this
Yeah.
person and that person, and then they get into, how that goes. And then you start, well, this person, well, what's wrong with them? Are they doing
Right.
that?
Hmm.
And that's what starts all of that. And then now it's a big commotion. We've seen that happen all the time, or somebody jumps on social media, and the average person doesn't jump on social media and cuss somebody out or subtext,
Right.
or if somebody, hurts their feelings, they don't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
something underlining, somebody is hurt. When you see the people, I saw a girlfriend of mine one time post something, I was like, take that down immediately.
Yeah.
I was
Wow.
like, cuz you look unhinged, take that down.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
she took
Wow.
it down, and it was because her feelings were hurt.
Mm-hmm.
She thought, she's talked about this publicly, she thought her man was cheating. She put up a post where their co-workers, everybody there
Mm-hmm.
could
Yeah.
see it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she thought he was cheating. Why? Because she still wasn't healed from when she was cheated on before.
Ah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
this new man couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not, I said, it has nothing to do with him. I said, before you do this, you have to think about certain things, and it's time to heal that, and a lot of people do, because they have been hurt before, whether it was a parent, whether it was a
Mhm.
relationship, a friendship. So now they're on edge, and that unhealed is showing. It's
Oh,
wide open,
yeah. Yeah.
you know, and it's unfortunate. That's why it's so important to heal wounds. But in order to heal wounds, you have to really spend time with yourself and get to know yourself, and not excuse things for, that's just how I am.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
oftentimes people do that.
Yeah.
That's just me. Take
That's
it or
just
leave it.
me.
You
Yeah.
don't have to just leave. No,
Well,
we're not going to take
that's my sign. That's my sign. That's
them.
it.
Right. That's how we do. And yes, all of that could be a part of who you are,
Yeah.
but some of it could not be.
Right, right, right. No, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. I agree. What advice would you give to someone who may be hesitant or uncertain about making changes in their life? And like how do you help them, or how can they start the journey towards remixing their lives if they're hesitant?
First, realizing that there's areas in their life that they really want to remix.
Yeah.
Like, think about what you constantly complain about, what you're constantly unhappy about, what you cry about at night when nobody is watching, what
Mm,
you're unsure about, what you're insecure about. And this is not,
yeah.
I want to be clear, this is not just for women. This is
No,
for men
definitely, yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I really want to be clear, because a lot of times we talk about empowerment and motivation and life coaching and a lot of things, people kind of put the woman label on it.
Yeah.
That's women,
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
want to really be clear that it's not just for women, it's for men as
Mhm.
well. So those things that you hear speaking to yourself, the quiet voices, and the things that you're unsure about, or the things that you're faking through,
Mhm.
because some people are faking through life,
Yeah.
wearing masks long before COVID and long
Mhm.
after. So that's where the remixing is. And then when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired,
Yeah. When you're
and
sick.
whatever you've been doing is not
Yeah.
serving you anymore. Because think about it. You can like a favorite sandwich,
Mhm.
favorite salad, favorite ice cream, favorite whatever it is, right? Until you're sick of it. You can love it to
Mhm.
pieces. It
Yeah.
could be working for you, or to you're lactose intolerant and you got ice cream. You can love ice cream all day long. You can still love ice cream. But if you have to go to the bathroom right after, you're feeling sick, you can feel the reactions
Yep.
of lactose intolerance, then are you going to continue to keep eating that? Even though you love it, it's no longer serving you.
That's right.
And you have to have the strength to let it go, whatever it is, whether it's a
Mm.
thought, whether it's a person, people, places, or things. A
That's
whole
right.
now.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Woo.
Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. So here's
What Teddy P say? Let it
let it go.
go. TKO. Let
Oh,
it go, baby. Just like another
he
love
loved
TKO. And while you at it, turn off the lights. Turn them off.
and close the door.
We got a whole little remix Teddy P playlist.
Oh boy. But listen, Last question.
Mm-hmm.
What are you grateful for?
Whew. You know what? This is Colon Cancer Awareness Month.
Mhm.
I don't know when this is going to come up or come out, but March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. I'm grateful for life. I'm
Oh,
grateful for
amen.
family. I'm
Yes.
grateful for great friends like you. And, I'm grateful for support. I'm grateful that I don't have to go through life alone. I'm grateful that I'm emotionally free.
Yeah. Oof.
I'm
Yeah.
grateful for that. I'm grateful that I understood that my unhealed was showing at times. And I'm grateful that I worked on that and healed. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
grateful that
Yeah.
I'm in a constant place of healing and growth as I do it and teach other people to do it. Because let me tell you, my degrees, my certifications, I could be the best life coach, your favorite life coach, as I often say, a million times over. But baby, personal experience, real life experience, that makes me the best life coach. Yep,
Yeah.
I got the credentials. If you want to see the credentials, I got the credentials here,
Hmm.
but I got also the credentials in life.
That's right.
So to be able to say, you know what, you can overcome that, you can do it. Let me, and as I'm coaching, I don't share my life, but openly on social media, I do,
Yeah.
so people will come, because of the professional side, but then also the personal side. And if somebody is going through something, I don't often talk about myself in a session, but if I see somebody really struggling through something or feel like they don't have self-worth or self-doubt, then I will say, listen, I did it and I'm no different than you. And I think that's important because most of the time people feel alone.
A lot of people feel alone. Even,
Yeah,
I mean, there's
I have felt alone before.
yeah,
I
yeah,
understand.
yeah. And it's probably not a good feeling. I mean, I've heard people say that they feel alone even when they're in a group of people in the
It
midst
has
of people. I'm like, how's but it
it
can
has been me. I
yeah.
talked about that on the live one time.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
have. I know people that have, and I have,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, why do I feel alone and people are here? Or, you have to really think about those things. And sometimes you can feel isolated and alone,
Wow.
because you might feel like you're going through it or you don't want to burden somebody else, or, you might be going through your channel of
Mm-hmm.
unhealed, spaces and places, and certain things may come up, and you never know. You see people that take their own lives, and they'd be like, they had the best job, they were beautiful, they were rich, they
Yeah.
had the
Yeah.
pretty wife on their arm, or they had the handsome husband. Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's
Yeah.
because people are suffering in silence. And that's, if I could share part of my story, if I could open up the gates for people to share their stories, then I'm going to do it over and over and over again, because I want people to feel like it doesn't matter what you have, what you look like, how long you went to school, where you're from.
Yeah.
People go through things, and life is serious. Tracy Morgan, one time, the comedian, said, life has teeth and it bites.
Mm.
And that was right after he almost passed away.
And right.
In that,
The
remember the
accident.
Walmart
Yes.
truck and all of
Yes.
that? And he was talking, when he said that that long ago, that resonated because it's true. And are you able to sustain the bites in life, so to speak? And some people can't,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
so everybody has, I've experienced a lot of things that people don't talk about, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, whether
Mhm.
it's self-doubt, whether it's depression, whatever it is. There's so many
Yeah.
people experiencing so many different things, and I want people to understand that they're not alone. And I want people to know that they do not have to be perfect. Throw perfection out the window. It's the
Yeah.
most ludicrous thing to attain to be perfect.
No one is
There's no
perfect. Yeah.
no, and also perfect is boring. Can you imagine if you're living your life perfectly? Like there's no issues to make you grow and get
Yeah.
better. There's
Yeah.
nothing that happens in your life where you can see your strength and growth. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing happens where you have to call on God to come help you or save you or to sit by your side. If everything was
It's
perfect,
perfect. That's
that's not
right.
going to build your muscle at all.
Exactly. We
You know?
we learn from, I'm a big believer that we learn from our mistakes,
Yeah.
and that's
If you're
how we
smart
grow.
enough.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we grow. If we you can't get everything right.
No,
you know.
no.
So
And
Kendall,
it's okay not to be okay.
yeah. Yeah.
It's okay to not be okay, guys, and say that I'm not okay today. But then tomorrow you're going to be
Gonna
okay.
be all right. That's right. That's
Joy
right.
comes in the morning.
That's
So if
right.
you're not okay right now, I want you to hold on and keep the faith because you might be okay tomorrow. But if you take away today, you'll never get to see the promise of tomorrow.
That's right. That's right. That's right. How can let my listeners know how they can get in touch with you if they want coaching, to get your book. I know you're on Instagram. Let's get your website, all of that. Let my listeners get that information from
I
you.
was trying to think of that song. Well, 5 5 29 11. That ain't my number.
Seven
What's that
seven
look? Was it
seven
Prince and
93.
93?
That's the time. That's the
That's the
time.
time. I I was going to say that. That's how y'all can call me up. But
Oh,
you can reach me us all social media platforms at Kendell Lenice. TikTok is the remix coach because I did have a Kendell Lenice. That's a whole nother story. Um, my books are on Amazon.com. Definitely go there. You'll see all the books up there. And for more information about me and my coaching and speaking engagements, if you want to book me, KendellLenice.com.
and your podcast, because
And
she also does podcast. She has the
my
Shine
podcast.
podcast.
Yes, my podcast is in its 11th season. Thank you, Sheila Shine with Kendell Lenice, available on all podcast platforms. And please follow or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that. And you'll
Verses on verses.
and verses on verses. Let's break that
That's
down. That's
right.
another podcast that's my baby. It's really personal and precious to me, where we talk about God. And and at Talk That God Talk. That's another page on Instagram.
Instagram. That's right. Talk that God talk. That's right.
Yeah. And
Uh,
I came up with that is because you know how you hear people say, and no one said it to me ever,
mhm.
thank God. But you know how you hear people say, there they go, talking that God talk again.
Yep. Yep.
But this is a place where we talk that God
That's
talk.
right. That's
It's
right.
important.
That's right. Well,
Yeah.
I thank you, my sister. I thank you
Thank you.
finally coming by, and this was a blessing. You were a blessing, and I love you, and I thank you so much for being a guest on my podcast today.
I love you. And can I just say, I am, first of all, you look beautiful. Okay. I just
Thank
have to
you.
say that
Thank
you are,
you.
yes, you are glowing. And I'm so proud of
Thank
you
you. Thank
that
you so
you
much.
remixed your life
Thank
in
you.
health. You
Yeah.
changed the way that you ate, you changed your exercise habits, you changed, and I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you.
Going to the gym on the regular basis.
Mhm.
I'm going to tell your business on medication. Now you're off medication. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
remixing your life. You're starting it in your 50s, a podcast that you sat on for a year or two and didn't even do anything with it.
Yeah.
I'm just serious.
Yeah.
You are like the epitome of what I'm talking about.
Yes, thank you. I'm telling it's you were my mentor, you gave me the unction and the push, and I thank God for him putting you in my life, because you are a blessing. You really are. There's a lot of people that have come in and out of my life, and I've let a lot of people go. But I appreciate you so much, and you really don't know. I talk about you to my husband and my family all the time. So
Oh,
look, trust me, they know Kendall. So I appreciate you, sis, and there's in nothing I wouldn't do for you. And I thank you. I thank
You know,
you.
you got my eyes welling up. Girl, I appreciate
We
you
can't cry
so
on the
much.
podcast now.
I
You
know,
can't.
right?
You
Because
can't.
you are my sister for life. And if we had to join that class and do that class just for us to meet, then look at God.
Look at God. That's
Look
right.
at God.
Look at
You
God.
know, and we both got a lot out of that
Oh,
class,
definitely.
that Bible
Definitely.
study. We really, really did. And it helped shape us and move us to the next level, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, it did. It
It
definitely did.
really did. It really did. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful that I met you there in that setting because we know who's in charge of our lives.
That's right. That's
We
right.
know that just our meeting is God based and ordained.
That's
It
right.
gets no better than that.
No,
It gets
come
no
on.
better than
Come
that.
on.
No better.
Come on.
We can't get somebody to match that in business. We can't get somebody to match that in friendship or
No,
sisterhood. Think about it.
no,
The,
you're
the
right.
best matchmaker couldn't even make that
We
match.
can't even make that match. That's right. Woo.
You know what I'm saying? And I gotta say that you elevating this podcast, your little background, little microphone on the side. You know what I'm saying? Your little hair, your wet and wavy hair, like you just doing it.
Oh
it.
my goodness.
I love it. I
Dude,
love
thank
it.
you.
I'm
Thank you
proud of you,
so
sis.
much. Thank you. I keep saying I'm trying to get my sexy back. I'm trying to get my
Girl,
sexy back.
you got it. You got that little soft beach wave going.
Oh, thank you so much, Kendell. I love you. Thank you
I
so
love you
much.
too. Thank you guys. Bye. Hi, everybody. It is Kendell Lenice, the Remix Coach, and I want to implore you to book your colonoscopies today. March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month, and early detection is everything. Colon cancer is beatable and preventable, but you got to take yourself to the doctor. So it's Colon Cancer Awareness Month, and the color is blue. Be well, health is well.
Join me next time where I will continue to discuss more of today's issues. I'm your host, Sheila Dunbar. Blessings to you.